Hey guys, it's Max and
Vadim
from Max Tech, and the last couple of days we're seeing a bunch of reviews hit YouTube, hit websites, and most people are saying that the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus have basically the same cameras as the S series. The photos are the same, and they're basically good cameras, but not great. Now at the event, we were thinking similar things, right?
Yeah, as soon as we saw the event, we basically thought that, hey, it's got identical cameras and it honestly just looked really underwhelming, but after using them for a couple of days, we've completely changed our minds.
Now, we've been testing camera phones and cameras for a number of years now, and Samsung has always had pretty good cameras, but they never reached top of the line. They were always a step behind, especially the iPhone. And with the 10s, that really gave the Note 9 a strong beating.
Yeah,
It killed it. Now, when the S10 came out, they took a nice leap forward and they matched and exceeded the iPhone in a number of images, but they just were not very consistent. Sometimes it looked great, other times there were other issues. Now, before we show you guys side-by-side shots and tell you what is really impressing us, in some images that just flat out shocked us and changed our mind completely and made us make this video, we want to let you know what issues we had in the past. So starting off with white balance, that was usually really inconsistent. We have actually a long list here of issues that would pop up.
Yeah, like over sharpening. Sometimes we'd zoom in and see a bunch of over sharpening, especially with the telephoto lens. A lot of the time we'd experience oversaturation, like the colors just not looking realistic compared to the iPhone colors.
We would get underexposing, especially when there's a person in the frame, so they would just be too dark for the image. And on top of that, we would have too much contrast. So blacks in dark parts of an image would be just crushed, the detail would be gone, and then under the eyes would be pretty dark as well.
And what was really annoying was that the beauty face mode would be defaulted on and it would really just smooth out every little detail on your face. Now it doesn't do that anymore. It looks a lot better. You actually see the details and little wrinkles in your face, so it actually looks more realistic. And another thing we experienced was aggressive denoising. Like in low light, it would just denoise your whole face. It just get rid of all the details. It would just be ridiculous.
And I remember like on a jacket, we had like a denim one or something. With the pack, and it was completely gone.
Smooth.
Now the other thing was dynamic range. And we're talking about the previous couple phones where it was really poor. Things would get blown out, clouds would get blown out, and it just looked fake. We would actually have ghosting around certain things that it would try to mix together. Looked really weird. And then detail also wasn't great compared to especially the iPhone. But now we're gonna take a look at our unbiased comparison that we did with Angelica. If you haven't seen this yourself and you didn't yet, go in, look at the photos without knowing which one is which and voted and commented. That is a lot of fun to see. Yeah. Pause this video, go check that one out. We'll have a link in the video description. But let's go ahead and jump in and take a look if you guys wanna see our opinions. So this is a selfie comparison. This was right when I did my triple comparison with the OnePlus 7 Pro. And we were really surprised from the get-go.
Both the OnePlus 7 Pro and the iPhone XS Max look a little bit too dark and the colors are a little bit off, but the Note 10 Plus actually nails it with the white balance. It nails the whole, the face, the lighting, everything just looks so nice and neutral and smooth.
Now this shot is extreme dynamic range. We have the sun hitting, the waterfall in the background, super dark under the bridge. What were your thoughts on this one?
So first of all, see the OnePlus 7 Pro, it gets these bricks back here. It's just way too dark. And for the iPhone, the waterfall right here is way too cool. And overall, just
the white
get a good balance.
So this is an example where the Samsung doesn't do as good as the iPhone. So the iPhone usually is underexposing a lot of these images, and it really works out here. This is extreme. Even a high-end DSLR would struggle here with a raw image. Next one here, this is what absolutely blew my mind. What do you think?
Well, now obviously you guys can actually see clouds in the background of the Note 10 Plus. And surprisingly, with the iPhone, I thought it would do better than this.
I thought it would do better.
This is horrible.
So when I shot this, I thought, I'm not gonna use this example. They're all gonna look horrible. This is too hard of a situation, and the Samsung blew our minds. This is a 10 times zoom image. So the OnePlus has a 3 times zoom on the telephoto, so it definitely is more detailed. It has the edge. But color-wise, where the Samsung used to usually be too cool, it actually nails the white balance.
So this one right here was supposed to be a portrait photo, but unfortunately the OnePlus 7 Pro failed to blur out the background like the iPhone and the Note 10 Plus did. And the iPhone overall, it was darker, like it didn't expose the paper and cup sign as well as the Note 10 Plus, so that's why we're going with the Note 10.
And then the next one is a food photo, and here I actually used the new food mode setting.
It worked.
So it blurs out, kind of, you can kind of adjust it. The one thing that I really liked is it nailed the white balance to reality. The iPhone, I don't know why it is so blue.
It's too cool.
Really cool, and also really flat. So somehow, I don't know if it knows what your food is, but it kind of kicked up.
Sushi.
It kicked up the contrast, but not as much as
good.
here. It kicked up the saturation. And this is what makes me want to eat it the most.
I'd eat that.
That's how I kind of judged it. The OnePlus also looks good. And then we also had a macro shot here.
Yeah. It looks really good. I mean, with the A, honestly, it just kind of looks disgusting. It like doesn't have any color in there. It just looks
Very
kind of
flat,
faded,
not enough
very
contrast.
flat. And with the OnePlus 7 Pro, it's a little bit too dark. I think it's maybe too much contrast. And overall, like the most well-balanced photo is from the Note 10 Plus.
And what impressed me is the white balance. This is one thing I pointed out. Before, the white balance on the Samsungs would be really inconsistent, but judging based on this wide shot, and then I switched to a telephoto camera, cropped all the way in, and the white balance is identical between the two. Yeah. Whereas the OnePlus actually shifted from slightly too cool to slightly too warm. The iPhone was still too cool, where the Samsung stayed exactly the same.
Nailed it.
And this one is our first telephoto portrait shot. I like this image a lot. I think the OnePlus might be a little bit better with the color, slightly more accurate, but it is detailed and it doesn't have a lot of noise because of that faster aperture, whereas with the iPhones, one thing because of the f2.8, right? Or is it f2.5?
I think, yeah.
So because of that, you don't have as much light and there's a lot of kind of noise in the image.
In this photo, the first thing that sticks out to me is you're definitely getting more detail with the Note 10 Plus. The iPhone looks really, really flat and you're lacking contrast, lacking details, lacking color. Whereas with the Note 10 Plus, that's actually what it looked like. It looks really, really good. And for the OnePlus 7 Pro, it just looks a little bit weird. Like the colors are off and you're getting like blown out detail on the buildings. So the better photo is definitely from the Note 10 Plus.
So this is our first selfie portrait photo, and the Note, it's not perfect on the edging, but it does a pretty good job. The blur looks good, and it definitely pops the most. The iPhone is underexposed, it looks kind of flat, and the OnePlus, it looks really bad. So this is backlit, so the sun is hitting the lens there. We get a bunch of flaring in the corner, her hair is blown out, the edging is messed up over here. It doesn't look good. So here we do have some skin smoothing.
Yeah.
But it's not over the top.
It looks good.
It's not over the top. Now we have a selfie of Vadim.
Yeah.
So I'll comment on this one. So the iPhone is slightly underexposed. It still looks really good in the situation, whereas the OnePlus, you look like a vampire or a zombie.
So blue.
The skin is kind of, I don't know, blotchy or textury, I don't know, something.
Lacks
It just looks bad, yeah, exactly, lifeless. Where here, the Samsung, you look like you have
Nice
life in your skin, nice and warm. You have the sunset in the background. The white balance looks good. It's a good image.
So the next three photos are taken at night, and this particular one right here, first of all, you can tell that the iPhone does not have night mode like the other two cameras do. And one thing with the Note 10 Plus's photo, it's a little bit too bright and a little bit oversaturated, but in general, you've got more detail. The colors look really nice. So I think you'd want to take this one home with you.
And here's another one. This is a selfie without flash. And so the only one that I can actually see myself in is the Samsung. And it's nice that they now have a dedicated night function, and you can actually use it on the selfie camera, which you cannot use with the S10 Plus, even with the update. Now for this last image, this is also a nighttime shot, and in this situation, the Samsung actually didn't do the best. The OnePlus did really good, mainly because the Samsung is slightly too bright, and it's also a little bit blurry. I actually took a couple shots here, one with the telephoto, and that one looked really, really great.
I want to point out that we're not Samsung fanboys. As you guys know, we're both iPhone users. We've used iPhones for a very long time, and we've preferred those photos up until now, where overall you definitely want to be having the Note 10 Plus in your pocket for taking photos. So if you guys aren't already subscribed, I would definitely recommend that you do so right now. Click that button because I'm going to be switching to the Note 10 Plus for a week after using an iPhone for I think 4 or 5 years already. I've been using the iPhone, so it's definitely going to be a very new experience. So definitely subscribe for that.
And we just wanted to make this video to say that there's been some huge improvements.
Massive,
we didn't expect them. A lot of other people are not mentioning them, but we want you guys to know about it, and maybe you guys are gonna be as surprised as we were, so we had to tell you. So if you guys wanna see some other videos, we have a couple posted right over here somewhere. I don't know where we're gonna put them.
Over there somewhere.
There's not enough room over there. But you guys check out our other videos, and this has been Max and
Redeemed.
with Max Tech, and we'll see you in the next one.